Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game preview to Everton's upcoming FA Cup third round fixture against Hull City away from home tomorrow. An absolute must win for Rafael Benitez. I can't express to you how important this game of football is. I can't express to you how important Everton coming away with the win is tomorrow evening. 5:30 kickoff live on BBC One. I think we all know the reason for that. I think the BBC are maybe expecting a little bit of an upset, if you'd like, but I wouldn't even call it an upset. If Hull City turn up tomorrow and beat Everton, I wouldn't say it was an upset. Yes, they're currently 19th in the Championship and not doing too well at the moment, but they're a Championship side. They'll turn up, they'll understand that they are, certainly not the favourites. They'll battle, they'll fight, they'll give everything. I'm sure the players will give 110%, and I believe they're currently going through a little bit of a transition with their football club. I think they're in the midst of new ownership. I think by this time next week or the week after, they should have new owners at the football club. So again, mood around the place will be bouncing. I believe a lot of Hull fans are looking forward to going to the game, and there seems to be a new sort of a new mood, a new happiness surrounding the place as well. So it's going to be an extremely difficult game of football for Everton tomorrow. An extremely difficult fixture for Rafa Benitez. Rafa Benitez did have his pre-game press conference earlier on today. He didn't really say much about the game, to be fair. He did speak generally about the FA Cup and how important it is, and how Everton want to do well in the competition and how it's difficult to win this competition, but he didn't really mention Hull City once. In fact, he spent the whole press conference talking about Luca Dean and the situation with Luca Dean. We have just uploaded a video on the channel about an hour ago talking about the Luca Dean situation and Rafa Benitez's pre-game press conference. So if you want to check that out, please do so after this live stream. But as I said, it certainly makes to be a tricky fixture for Everton tomorrow. I've got no illusion whatsoever that this one will be difficult. I'm not sitting here by any stretch of the imagination thinking that Everton will turn up and walk all over Hull, but we've absolutely got to win this game. There's no doubt about it. If Rafa Benitez is got any chance of saving his job for me, he's got to go out there and get the win tomorrow. Again, I was watching TalkSport earlier on today, Simon Jordan and Jim White, and they were joined by Martin Keown, and Jim White asked the pair, what would be an acceptable scoreline for Everton tomorrow, and the both of them said just win, and I couldn't agree more with it. Really, I'm not really bothered if we win 4-0 or 5-0 or 6-0 or 8-0. That is completely irrelevant for me. As long as we go out there and we get the win, that's all that matters. We, no disrespect to Hull City, of course, but we can't be going out in the first, well, not obviously the third round, but the first round of the FA Cup that we are playing in, to another Championship side. And I think Hull will take a lot of confidence from Everton's form at the moment. They'll look at this Everton team and think this is a side that are more than beatable, certainly given the fact that there seems to be a new sort of positive atmosphere surrounding Hull at the moment because of the takeover and things going on at the football club. They'll look at Everton and think this is a very winnable game, and if they don't look at Everton and think this is a very winnable game, then they should probably go and watch our 2 Carabao Cup fixtures this season, and I'm sure they'll change their mind. We weren't great in the first round of the Carabao Cup that we played in against Huddersfield. We barely got through by the skin of our teeth in that game, and then of course we went out to QPR on penalties in the next fixture. So this Everton side under this manager have proven already this season that when coming up against lower league opposition in these types of situations away from home, we can be susceptible to putting in absolutely dreadful performances. But not only that, we've shown on a multiple of occasions this season that when coming up in the Premier League against bang average opposition, we can put in some awful performances as well. We just haven't been very good, and that's why I would question if Hull were to beat Everton tomorrow, would it be that big of a surprise? It certainly wouldn't be to me. I don't think there's any Evertonian that you could say out there would be massively surprised if Everton don't win this game tomorrow, because of the way in which we've been playing. We've only won one game in the last 12. We've won one game of football since September, which is absolutely disgraceful. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I really don't understand how the manager has kept this job on the basis of that form. Yes, you could say there's different variables of it and there's different reasons for that, and losing certain players through injury and this, that and the other, and I understand all of that, but at the end of the day, only winning one game since September is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. We sit 15th in the Premier League. Hull City are currently 19th in the Championship. Of course, the Championship has got more teams than the Premier League, so they are about 6th from bottom, I believe, 4th, 5th from bottom. They have played 24 games so far this season in the Championship, won 6, drawn 5 and lost 13. Their last few fixtures don't look great for them, to be fair. Last time out they had a 1-0 loss to Blackpool. Week before that they lost 1-0 away to Notts Forest. They drew 2-2 the last time they played at home with Bristol City. They actually drew away with Reading 1-1 the week before that, and the last time they won was at home against Millwall a few weeks back in the Championship. So not in great form themselves, as I said. They are currently, I think, undergoing a takeover, so there will be a good feeling, somewhat of a good feeling around the club at the minute, and they'll be looking at Everton, and rightly so, thinking this is a side we can beat, this is a team we can cause an upset to. This would be a massive statement live on BBC One in front of the whole nation to go out and put a performance in, and it's up to Everton and Rafa Benitez to not allow that to happen. At the end of the day, with full respect to Hull City, you know, this is a Championship side who have struggled this season, and on paper, and I hate this term on paper because football isn't played on paper, but on paper, this Everton side should have more than enough quality in it to go out and be able to beat Hull City, and beat Hull City convincingly, and that's the task at hand for Rafa Benitez tomorrow. Look, at the end of the day, as long as I'm sitting here at 7 o'clock, 7:30 tomorrow, talking about an Everton win, that's all that matters to me. Whether we've won 8-0 or whether we've won 1-0 and it's come off somebody's arse in the last 5 minutes, I don't really care, as long as we win the game of football, because we're that desperate for a win. But it would be nice for Everton to go out and put in a statement. It would be nice for Everton to go out and just dominate a game of football. I said it, yesterday in one of the videos. When was the last time we actually went out and dominated a game of football? When was the last time we went out and we were calm, we were collected, we were just much better than the opposition? We've done it a couple of times under Carlo Ancelotti in the earlier rounds of the Carabao Cup last season, where we were just head and shoulders better than the sides we were coming up against. And granted, we were coming up against, League 1 sides and League 2 sides and sides that weren't able to compete. But this Everton team, albeit with the injuries that we've got, still should be good enough to turn up tomorrow and put in a professional, solid performance and come away with all 3 points. Come away with the win and be in the half for the next round of the competition. Do I think it will happen? Absolutely not. I think if Everton are to win this game, it will probably be by the skin of our teeth, and it will probably be an excruciating watch, as is most cup fixtures that involve Everton, certainly the ones that we've watched under Rafa Benitez so far. But this is imperative. I can't explain to you how important of a game of football this is. It's beyond a must win. Absolutely beyond a must win. Obviously, the question is, will we see debuts for Vitaly Mykolenko and Nathan Patterson? Well, the manager did speak about them in his pre-game press conference today. Two of the only players he spoke about in regards to this game, and he said that they're both training well. They had their first training session a couple of days ago, which was much more about just settling in to the squad and learning, the facilities and stuff. He said they trained better yesterday, and they have another training session today, well, at the time of the press conference, and I think tomorrow before the game. He said, will we see them? We will have to see. It's all about their fitness. They had a 15-day spell. Pair of them had 15 days off of training before joining Everton Football Club. So, it's about fitness and whether or not they're ready to start the game. So the manager not saying yes, not saying no as to regards to will we see Vitaly Mykolenko and Nathan Patterson. I personally think we'll see one of them start and the other come off the bench, but we'll talk about that when we talk about our predicted starting 11 a little bit later on in the live stream. The manager did confirm some injury news. He confirmed that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is out of this one. I believe Dominic Calvert-Lewin has felt a bit of tightness on his thigh and therefore will not be risked for this one. Probably the right decision and probably an expected sort of not injury, but an expected problem for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, obviously coming back after so long out, played 90 minutes against Brighton the other day. It was expected that, a few days later, a week later, he would be expecting some tightness. Let's just hope that that's nothing serious whatsoever, and that Dom is 100% fit and back for Leicester on Tuesday. And yeah, the manager also confirmed that Yerry Mina, Richarlison, Andros Townsend and Tom Davies are all still out. We've seen pictures of Andros Townsend completing individual training yesterday. Obviously, this one has just come a little bit too soon for him. And we haven't had an update on Richarlison, Yerry Mina, or in fact, Tom Davies. As I said, the manager didn't really talk about the game tomorrow, didn't really talk about injuries in his press conference. He effectively just spoke about the Luca Dean situation, which, as I said, we're not going to cover too much in this video. If you want to check out my opinions and my thoughts on it, we have uploaded a separate video talking about that, which is now on the channel, so you can check that out after this one. We will be getting in the live comments very, very shortly, so if you are watching live and you want to get involved, please do get your comments in. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. That only takes a second, and if you're enjoying this one, please do hit that like button. But yeah, as I said, Hull are aside with players that will turn up and will certainly feel that they've got an opportunity to cause an upset. They've got an opportunity to, put a bit of attention on themselves. The likes of George Honeyman, who is a really, really talented player. I think, Hull would probably see him as one of their star players, if not their star man. They've still got the likes of Tom Huddleston, who of course we know from his time in the Premier League, played for Hull in the Premier League, played for Tottenham in the Premier League as well, I believe, back in the day. They've got certainly talented players there, players that can cause Everton problems, like Tyler Smith as well, who, again, I'm not too sure on his availability, but assuming he will be fit and available for tomorrow, is a player that Everton have got to ultimately look out for. And I think we say this, well, I certainly say this every time Everton come into one of these cup fixtures against sides like, Hull or lower league opposition, is that one thing you are absolutely guaranteed tomorrow is that this whole team will work their absolute bollocks off. This whole team will want to impress. They'll want to cause an upset. They'll battle. They'll fight. They'll show their determination. They'll show their passion for the club. As I said, the feeling around the club at the moment is much better than what it has been recently because of this takeover that is seemingly happening over the next few days or so. And the players will react to that. The players will want to make an impression. They'll want to get a bit of a fresh start, and they might see this as a bit of a fresh start as well. And it's always difficult coming into these types of games because the opposition team understand that they're coming up against the Premier League side. They're coming up against the side with, on paper, a lot of quality and a squad that should be more than good enough to win this game comfortably, and therefore they always give that extra 10%. They always give that extra bit of battle. They always give that extra bit of grit, and that's going to be Everton's biggest problem tomorrow. Is can we not only match that grit from Hull, but can we put up with their passion? Can we put up with their intensity? Can we put up with their performance? And we should be able to, because this is a squad full of Premier League players who should be more than good enough to go out there against an average to poor Championship side, no disrespect to Hull, and win comfortably. That doesn't mean that will be the case. As I said before, I don't by any stretch of the imagination think this one will be easy. I don't by any stretch of the imagination think this one will be a walk in the park. I really don't. I think if there is any likelihood of how this game will go, I think it will be an extremely difficult game of football for Everton. But not even disregarding the result, even if we manage to win the game, I can't see it being a comfortable control and win. I think it'll be a tough game of football, and Hull will certainly make it tough, because ultimately this is an opportunity, as I said, in front of the country on BBC One, for them to cause an upset and to get a bit of attention on themselves. But it is up to Everton, and it's up to Rafa Benitez to set his team out to go out and win this game, and to go out and win it comfortably. Rafa Benitez can't afford to crash out of the FA Cup at the third round against a Championship side that aren't in very good form at the moment. Everton can't afford to lose another game of football. Ultimately, one win in 12 games is simply not good enough. One win since September is simply not good enough. And as I said, it would be really nice for Everton to go out and stamp out their authority a little bit tomorrow and, get a comfortable win. But I couldn't really care whether that happens or not, to be honest. As long as we get a win, I'm not really bothered. And the question is floating about at the moment on social media, and I've been asked it in the comments a couple of times over the last couple of days, is if Everton do lose this game, if Everton don't manage to progress, will that spell the end of Rafa Benitez's time at the football club? And personally, I don't think it will. I think there is a scenario tomorrow in which Everton don't win this game of football and the manager still keeps his job. I think there will be a lot more pressure on him, and there will be a lot more noise being made from Evertonians and from the media about the situation. Rafa Benitez has come out very clearly today and spoken about the Luka Dean situation and made it quite evident that Luka Dean doesn't want to be here, questioned his commitments, questioned, whether or not he's focused on the team or his own performances, and spoke very sort of, I suppose, forwardly about the Luka Dean situation and about how, what he believes to be a player not wanting to be here and not wanting to commit to the team, which, ultimately was a bold statement, given a lot of Evertonians have taken Luka Dean's side over Rafa Benitez's side over the last couple of weeks or so. And if Everton were to go out tomorrow and lose this game, and let's say Luka Dean doesn't start or doesn't play, which let's be honest, he isn't going to, let's say, Vitaly Mykolenko isn't quite ready to play yet, or isn't quite fit enough to give it 100%, there'll be a lot of question marks around why Luka Dean wasn't involved. Again, I just don't see Farhad Moshiri and the Everton board sacking Rafa Benitez anytime soon. Maybe I'm wrong, and again, I always say this, I don't know anything more than anybody else does know, but I would just be massively, massively surprised if Rafa Benitez loses his job, after this game. Regardless of the results, I would be massively surprised if the manager loses his job after this game. I just can't see it. If he does lose this game, should he lose his job? Well, for me, he should have lost his job a number of weeks ago, when it became quite evident that tactically he just wasn't the right man for the job, but it didn't happen, and I can't see it happening. If we don't win tomorrow, sorry if some people don't want to hear that, sorry if some people don't want to admit that to themselves, but I just don't see a way in which Rafa Benitez loses his job tomorrow. But anyway, it's not about Rafa Benitez losing his job. I've seen some people talk about this, and we are maybe getting into that dangerous territory of thinking about Everton losing games of football, because if they lose games of football, then the manager's more likely to lose his job. And when you start getting into that situation, and when you start getting into that territory, that's when things start to become a little bit, it goes beyond the point of what football is then, isn't it? I absolutely hope Everton win 18-0 tomorrow and Rafa Benitez is applauded for every single decision he makes. I hope to be sitting here tomorrow night doing the instant match reaction, saying what a performance that was by Everton and what a managerial masterclass it was by Rafa Benitez. Of course I do. I'd rather do that than be sitting here saying Everton have lost an FA Cup tie and we're out of the competition. To kind of see Everton winning 18-0 and us having that conversation? No, I can't. But that's, a worry that's where the sort of mentality of the football club is at the moment, is people are, rather than talking about a good opportunity to progress into the FA Cup fourth round and to, put in a good, performance, and who knows, maybe a good dominant performance tomorrow will kickstart our season, for lack of a better phrase. Maybe a good dominant performance tomorrow will give the players and the staff the confidence to go on and start performing in the Premier League. So that's what we want to see, don't we? I don't think there's any Evertonian out there that wants us to not win this game or wants us to not win it comfortably so they can continue to, criticise Rafa Benitez. As I said, I hope Everton win 15-0 and Rafa Benitez makes every decision unbelievably, because then we'll be sitting here talking about a really good Everton win, and that's what it's all about. It's all about Everton winning games of football. But that shows where we are as a fan base and where we are as a club at the moment. Is the first thing people are talking about is, what if we don't win this game? Well, that shouldn't really be in the conversation. No disrespect to Hull City, but they're sitting 19th in the Championship at the moment. They haven't won for a long time, and I know Everton are sitting 15th in the Premier League, and we haven't won. Well, we've only won once in 12 games or whatever. But the first thing should be going out there and winning this game. Everton should be more than good enough to go out there and win this game, with no disrespect to Hull City whatsoever. I'm not saying it won't be difficult. I'm sure they'll make it really difficult. I expect them to make it really difficult, because that's the way you beat Everton ultimately, is turning up and making it tough, giving it 100%, working hard and wanting it more than this group of Everton players want it. And it's very possible that Hull will do that tomorrow. But we should be looking at this game, and we have to be looking at this game as a must-win. We simply have to be able to look, to be looking at this game as a must-win. There's no scenario for me in which Everton don't win this game, and it's still somehow there's still a positive spin on it. I just don't think there's anything the manager could say if we don't win tomorrow that would cause positivity. I just think it's absolutely got to be a must win. Anyway, before we get into talking about my predicted starting 11, let's get into the live comments. And if you are watching live, then please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. As I said, we have done a separate video talking about Rafa Benitez's pre-game press conference ahead of this game. We spoke about the Luca Dean situation and the news that Luca Dean has informed the manager that he wants to leave the football club. That is up on the channel now. If you want to check that out, then please do so after the live stream. Stick with us for the remainder of the live stream, and then go and check that video out if you would like. But let's get into the live comments then. Anyway, Mr. Horvo says, hi Cam, hi mate, hope you're doing well. Ollie says, evening Cam, how are you doing mate? I'm not too bad. I hope you're doing well yourself. Nicholas says, hi Cam lad, hi my mate. Jason says, hi Cam, hi everybody, hi mate. Poker says, hello. Gord says, won't be able to catch the game due to working at that time. Nightmare mate, nightmare. It is a 5:30 kickoff tomorrow for those wondering. Nicholas says, Coleman or Patterson starting, you reckon? Well, we'll go through my predicted starting 11 very shortly, and we'll talk about that. I've made it in. Greetings, fellow Blues. Hello, Cam Topman, says Semi. Hello, my mate. Hope you're doing well. What's happening? Peter says, 5 at the back against Hull. Certainly hope not. I certainly hope not, mate. Semi says, I'll go for 1-0 Everton, maybe an own goal from Hull. Well, as I said, we know Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are both out, so we are likely to see Solomon Rondon starting. I know some people, want to see Ellis Sims, want to see Lewis Dobbin, and I do as well. I think this would be a perfect opportunity to see Ellis Sims and Lewis Dobbin starting, or one or the other. But how likely are we to see that? We're more likely to see Solomon Rondon starting, aren't we? Let's be honest. Crimson says, alright Cam, how you doing, fella? Confirmed Dean has asked to leave, but no bid as of yet. Sorry, it's off topic. Yeah. Spoke about it earlier today. He says, would love one of the newbies to get a goal. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Be amazing. EFC Essen says, they look boss insane, and I can't lie, I'm buzzing. They do, but again, it's very good for Everton to film, a couple of training sessions and make a montage of players and make them look absolutely brilliant. I'm sure if they did it with Solomon Rondon, we'd be sitting here saying, oh my god, Solomon Rondon is amazing. So let's just see what, the both can give on the pitch. Whether or not they both play tomorrow, we'll wait and see. The Mighty Blues #1 fan, what's happening, mate? He says, hey Cam, thoughts on the Dean situation? I've given all of my thoughts on that video that, as I said, we uploaded earlier today, but just in short, it's disappointing. It's massively disappointing. It's sad to see that this is likely the way that it's going to end for Luca Dean at Everton. I think at the moment we're only hearing half a story. We're only hearing Rafa Benitez's side, which very much seems to be that the player isn't committed and has told, the manager he wants to leave Everton. I'm sure if you were to ask Luca Dean, he might have a difference in opinion. He might say, well, yeah, I do want to leave Everton, but that's because of this, that's because of that. Or he might even say, hang on, I am committed, I'm giving it 110%, you just don't want to play me. So it's difficult when we don't know the entirety of the situation, but it's disappointing considering we know that the likelihood is that Luca Dean will leave the football club this January. And yeah, considering, in February of last year, less than a year ago, he was coming out and talking about Everton being a perfect wedding and signing a new contract and stuff. It is massively disappointing that it's gotten to this ultimately. Where are we then? Where are we? Fingers crossed, mate, says Crimson. Semi says, would also love to see that. Dave says, really excited to see these fellas hit the pitch. Peter says, can't lie, if we lose and Rafa is sacked, I'd happily take the hit. I don't think he will be, though. And I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. As I said, I'd rather win and Benitez keep his job for the foreseeable future than lose and him be sacked and us not get anything this season. There's still a cup there to be won. There's still an opportunity there to be taken. Free Dean says, Jedi. Rafa's divided the fan base. Dunk can unify it, says Semi. Pokey says Free Dean. I don't think Dean's not free. Delamere says, come on you Blues. Semi also says, come on you Blues, as does Philip, as does Pokey again. JT says, hello Cam, nice to see you my mate. Hello my mate, hope you're doing well. And Phil says, I honestly don't care who the boss is, I only want our club to be successful rather than a laughingstock. Yeah, absolutely. Pokey says, are we away? We are away. But yeah, look, as people have quite rightly said, then it's about winning tomorrow. It's not about losing and will the manager be sacked or this, that and the other. It's about winning this game of football. A winnable game, a very winnable game, a game that Everton should be looking at going out and winning. It'll be tough, and Hull will undoubtedly make it tough for us, as to be expected, but it still should be a game that Everton are looking at going out and getting the win in. And as I said, ultimately it doesn't matter by what scoreline we win, or how convincingly we win. It's just about going out there and getting that win and getting in the half for the next round. Let's get into my predicted starting 11 then. Let's talk about the starting 11 that I think Rafa Benitez will start with tomorrow. In goal, I'm going for Jordan Pickford. There is every chance that Asmir Begovic could play in this game. Every chance Asmir Begovic could play in this game. For me, I sincerely hope, and I mean this, I sincerely hope that the manager goes with a full-strength starting 11. I know we've got a game on Tuesday against Leicester, a really, really important league game. I understand that. But for me, I would rather the manager go with a full-strength starting 11 and then take players off as the game, progresses, and hopefully as we're winning the game comfortably, than start with a weakened team and that weakened team have an absolutely torrid time and we're having to bring on the key players to try and change a game. I'd rather the key players start and get us to a comfortable position and then take them off, rather than obviously start on the bench and then have to rely on them to come on and change the game. Not that would happen with Jordan Pickford. If Jordan starts, he's likely to play the full 90, and he should be able to play the full 90 tomorrow and on Tuesday. He's a goalkeeper. He doesn't really have to do much. But I would personally, I'd be starting Jordan Pickford over Asmir Begovic. I just think he's a much better goalkeeper, and if we're going to start our full strength side, then ultimately Jordan Pickford is part of that full strength side. Left back then, I am going to go with a debut for Vitaly Mykolenko. Obviously he's been saying it today. The manager spoke about the fact that we'll have to wait and see of the fitness levels of both Vitaly Mykolenko and Nathan Patterson, but I do think you'll see the Ukrainian international starting. Big reason for this is that Luka Dean isn't going to play, is he? Let's be honest, especially not after the situation today. There's absolutely no chance that Luka Dean will play in this game tomorrow. We haven't got any other left-back cover. I think it would be silly for Rafa Benitez to play Ben Godfrey out of position or Seamus Coleman out of position when you've got Vitaly Mykolenko there. Yes, he mightn't be fit to play 90 minutes, and if he isn't, then I would suggest, I would think he would start and then come off, and maybe that's when you'd bring on, I don't know, a John Joe Kenny and swap maybe Seamus Coleman or a Ben Godfrey there, or maybe even a Luka Dean for one last hurrah. But I do think we'll see Vitaly Mykolenko starting tomorrow. As I said, the left-back position is free now, or ultimately will be when Luka Dean leaves the football club. And, it'd be a good opportunity to see Mykolenko in action against the Championship side. That won't be as difficult as the teams he'll be coming up against in the Premier League, but will also put in a difficult, game and will give Vitaly Mykolenko his first sort of taste of English football and what it's like to come up against teams in this country. And yes, there's a lot of Premier League teams much better than Hull, but Hull will work their arse off tomorrow. They'll battle, they'll fight, they'll get forward, and that's the bare minimum that Vitaly Mykolenko should be expected to give. So I think that he will start tomorrow. I might be wrong. The manager mightn't deem him fit enough. The manager might say he wasn't quite ready. Who knows, but I do think that we will see Vitaly Mykolenko starting. Into the centre-back partnership then, I have gone with Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane. Again, as I said, the manager confirmed today that Yerry Mina is still out injured, so that, rules Yerry Mina out of the game. And we haven't heard about Jared Branthwaite. If Jared Branthwaite was to be fit, I would start him. Because I'd like to see, again, what he can bring for a consistent 90-minute basis. I think Jared Branthwaite is really knocking on the door of being a Premier League player, a Premier League player for Everton, especially with that performance against Chelsea. He was absolutely fantastic, but the manager hasn't mentioned anything about Jared Branthwaite, so the assumption is that he still is unavailable. Obviously, he wasn't fit enough, picked up an injury and wasn't fit enough to play against Brighton, so my assumption is that that's still the case, that's still the situation, but we don't know that. Maybe Jared Branthwaite is fit and maybe we will see him, but I am going with Michael Keane and Ben Godfrey. Again, you could say it's a cup game, so maybe, the manager will rest Michael Keane or Ben Godfrey, I don't think the manager should be resting anybody. I think this should be the full strength team, and then hopefully we're 2 or 3-0 up in the 60th minute, and maybe you can take off a Ben Godfrey to give him a rest ahead of Tuesday. I wouldn't be starting Mason Holgate, because I think Hull will be rubbing their hands together thinking, well, this is an opportunity to get at Everton, this is an opportunity to ultimately force this side into making mistakes, because Mason Holgate isn't very good, and albeit Michael Keane and Ben Godfrey haven't been unbelievable either, but they're better defenders than what Mason Holgate is for me, so I would start with them two. And then at right back, I have gone with Seamus Coleman. I don't quite think we'll see both Vitaly Mykolenko and Nathan Patterson making their debuts starting. I do think we'll see Nathan Patterson at some point in the game, but I think we're more than likely going to see him come off the bench. Obviously, didn't have a lot of first-team football under his belt for Rangers, so some would say this would be a perfect time to start him. It's a cup game against lower league opposition, but how likely is it that Rafa Benitez will start the 2 new fullbacks in the same game at the same time, given that that's both sides of the pitch then occupied by 2 new players, new in the squad and new to the English football. I'm just not too sure that's very realistic. I do think we'll see Nathan Patterson come off the bench maybe in the second half, give Seamus a rest ahead of obviously Leicester on Tuesday, but I can't see the both of them starting at the same time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we will see the both of them starting and I'll have me face wiped, and I'd be happy to see both starting. Just think the manager might see it as a bit of a risk, considering the balance of the defence, and also considering our centre backs have been utterly atrocious in recent weeks. So that is my back four. And goalkeeper, I have gone with the 3 in midfield, because I can't express to you how vital it is for Everton to start playing with the 3 in midfield. We established against Brighton that this team just isn't good enough to play with a 2. Alan isn't quick enough to play in a 2, and Abdoulaye Doucouré is heavily his ability to go forward and to create chances going forward is put on the back burner when he has to play in a 2. So I have gone with Alan, Abdoulaye Doucouré and Andre Gomes. Now, when I was doing the starting 11, I was thinking, who would I rather see, Andre Gomes or Tyler Onyango? And I'd rather see Tyler Onyango. I'd rather see him given an opportunity in this game, again against lower league opposition, seeing what he can bring, seeing how dominant of a presence he could be. He could, maybe he could be perfect sat next to Alan, allow Doucouré to get forward and create the chances and get up the other end and help out the side attacking wise. I think this would be a good opportunity for somebody like a Tyler Onyango to get into the first team and show what he can bring. But then I thought, how realistic is it that Tyler Onyango is going to start this game tomorrow? Very unrealistic, let's be honest. He isn't going to start. I just hope that the manager does go with the 3 in midfield, even if there isn't, even if Tyler Onyango isn't going to play. I just hope the manager goes with the 3 in midfield, because it's vital. We don't want to see a 5 at the back again. That would be atrocious. And as I said, for me, I think the way forward is certainly a 3 in midfield. Everton is seemingly after another centre midfielder this January transfer window. We can only assume that is to play next to Alan and Abdoulaye Doucouré. So why not give somebody like a Tyler Onyango the opportunity to fill that role at the moment and show what he can bring? As I said, I highly doubt that'll be the case. But if that isn't going to be the case, then start with the 3 in midfield and at least give ourselves a better chance of winning that midfield battle, because we never seem to win the midfield battle. As with Alan and Doucouré, I think Alan very similarly should be a player that we're looking at to bring off, in 60, 70 minutes. If hopefully we're comfortably winning the game. I say hopefully, that's probably not likely, but hopefully we're comfortably winning the game and you can bring somebody like an Alan off, and maybe even Doucouré as well, and give them a rest ahead of Tuesday's game against Leicester. And then the front 3, I have gone with Anthony Gordon, Damari Gray and Solomon Rondon. Listen, as much as everybody watching this live stream would absolutely love Ellis Sims to get his opportunity starting up front again, or Lewis Dobbin to get a start, but let's be honest, if Solomon Rondon is fit, we know Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't fit, we know Richarlison isn't fit, we know Andros Townsend isn't fit. It's likely to be Solomon Rondon starting, isn't it? How likely is Rafa Benitez to keep Solomon Rondon on the bench in this game and to play one of the youngsters up front instead? Maybe we'd see a 2 in midfield, a 2 up front, maybe, potentially. I doubt it, but I just can't see, I can't see, a way in which Solomon Rondon doesn't start this game. If he does start this game, then I would like hopefully to see, the likes of Ella Sims and Lewis Dobbin coming off the bench and maybe be given that opportunity to make an impact in the second half. But I think we're more than likely going to see Solomon Rondon, aren't we? I would start Anthony Gordon. I don't think there's any problems with Anthony Gordon in regards to fitness or stamina or ability to play, tomorrow and on Tuesday. And then Damari Gray, I think for me, again, should be another player that we're looking at starting. And then hopefully with half an hour, 40 minutes to go, being able to have the luxury of bringing him off rather than having him on the bench and bringing him on when we desperately need to find a winner. I just don't. I think that's a backwards way of doing things. But there you go. That is my predicted starting 11. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comments section down below. Do you agree with it? If you're watching live, let us know your thoughts in the live comments. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? If you don't agree with it, what would your starting 11 be? Let us know before we finish up. Let's get back into the live comments. Jason says we need to win tomorrow. Likes of Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool will be playing weak squads. They will. Philip says, hey Charmed. Hey Philip. Adam says, hi Cam. Do you have a Patreon account? We don't have a Patreon, but we do have the ability to join the channel as a member. It's 99p a month because that's the cheapest I could make it. And you join by pressing the join button next to the subscribe button. If you're watching on an iPad or an iPhone or any sort of phone device, tablet, I don't think it gives you the option. If you're watching on a computer or a laptop, I think it does give you the option. However, there is a link in the description of the video that we uploaded a couple of hours ago talking about the Luca Dean situation. If you click that, you'll be allowed to join. So thank you very much. Pokey says, are we away? Remember when we lost to Millwall away, lost against QPR in the League Cup? We've been horrific in the Cup the last 6 years. We have, and we've certainly been horrific away from home in the Cup. You're right, mate. Yes, Cam, spot on, lad, says Liam. Cheers, my mate. Carlo got us to the quarters, I think, but that's about it. JT says, Cam, why are DCL and Richie out? Dominic Calvert-Lewin has felt a bit of tightness in his thigh, so again, will not be available tomorrow. And Richarlison is still out with the same calf injury that he's been out with for the last couple of weeks or so. Pokey says, Gabaman will probably play to put him in the shot window. Could backfire, though. It could. And I was thinking about Gabaman playing, but then I thought about the fact that it could backfire if he doesn't perform well or if he's overrun by, a championship midfield. That might do him well for a potential move this window. Rather see Andre Gomez than Gabaman, says JT. Jason says the tie also has to finish tomorrow. Extra time pens if needed. Yes, you're right. JT says, I'd love for us to actually play some football tomorrow. Confidence team making a couple of goals. Give fans a bit of positivity. That would be great, wouldn't it? That would be absolutely great. And there's no reason why we can't do that, by the way. There's no reason why we can't do that. Arsenal for Life says, good luck. If there's any team that needs some luck, it's Everton. Thank you very much, mate. You're absolutely right. Philip says, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't start the new Blues. It'd be nice to introduce them on Tuesday at Goodison. Maybe. Semi says, I would favour Gomez for his experience. JT says, defo need 3 in the middle of the park, Cam. I agree. Dennis says, alright, Cam, is Tom fit? No, Tom Davis is still out injured. Philip says, Arsenal for Life. Thanks, mate. Good luck yourself. What about Tosson, says Pokey. I just think out of Tosson, Sims and Dobbin and Rondon, I think Tosson's probably last on that list of likelihoods to start. Sounds a decent side there, Cam. Android here, no problem joining, says Philip. There you go. You can join on the Android. Dennis says on mobile or tablet on live chat, press the donate to become a paying member. There you go. So if you're watching on mobile or tablet, if you press the little $sign in the live comments, I think it'll allow you to join as a member from there. And EFCS says Gabaman at centre-back. It's a shout. It's certainly an interesting shout, but I don't think we'll see it tomorrow. But anyway, look, there you go then. We are going to finish the live stream up there. As I said, will certainly be a tricky game. There's a reason that the BBC have decided to televise this game, and that's because I think they're expecting a little bit of an upset, even though an upset would probably be Everton turning up and playing half-decent footy and winning the game comfortably. That would be more of an upset than Hull beating Everton, wouldn't it? Let's be honest with you. Certainly for me, I'll be sitting here tomorrow, and if Everton have lost this game, I'll be less surprised than I will be sitting here saying, oh, weren't we boss today? Oh my God, we were amazing. But it will be a tricky game. As I said, Hull will turn up and certainly fancy their chances, certainly fancy themselves in this one. They'll work hard, they'll battle, they'll give it 100%, and Everton have got to be able to match that and also got to be able to go out and win this game. I'm not, at this point, 1 win in 2 months, I don't really care if it's convincing, I don't really care if it's, we win by 8 goals, I'm not really bothered. As long as we just go out there and win this game, that's all that matters for me. Dennis has become a member of the channel. Thank you very much, Dennis. Really, really do appreciate that. My mate means a massive, massive amount to me. Thank you very, very much. Bulky says, cheers, Cam, come on, you Blues. And Semi says, get those likes in for our Cam. But anyway, look, there you go. We are going to finish it there. Then if you have enjoyed this one, please do hit that like button. A massive thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments. Really, really do appreciate all of the support as always. We will be back tomorrow with the instant match reaction and the player ratings directly after the game. So don't forget to look out for those. And as I said, we have uploaded that video earlier on this evening talking about Rafa Benitez's pre-game press conference today, talking about the Luca Dean situation. We talked about all of the quotes that Rafa Benitez had to say on Luca Dean as well. So if you haven't checked that one out, please do so. It is on the channel now, and yeah, let us know your thoughts on that in the comments, because I'd be really, really interested to hear what all of your thoughts are on that. But until then, massive thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this one, please do smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. We will be back tomorrow with the instant match reaction and the player rating, so I look forward to that. Let's just go for a win. You know, yes, it'd be great to go out there and dominate. Yes, it'd be great to go out there and be amazing. But let's just hope Everton can turn up, put a decent performance in, and win the game. Because that's what we need. Let's be honest, that's what we need. Massive thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. And we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues. Cheers for watching. See you after.